You can generate a lot of leads from Facebook. Instagram is all about lifestyle content. Facebook advertising cost is very less. Facebook can provide you a wide visibility. Create a cadence, AI for deep research. Yeah, organically Facebook pages have very limited reach. Start utilizing Facebook's features like Facebook Live and be regular. Keep on educating your market.
Hey everyone! So today we are going to talk about how to build your business brand on Facebook and Instagram. Hey Vikram, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
So let's talk about Facebook and Instagram today.
Sure, let's go ahead.
So how do I build my business brand on these two platforms, which are the most known platforms globally for everything?
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram are actually one of the largest social media platforms for building brands. When it comes to B2C businesses, Facebook is really good. However, for B2B businesses, Facebook has to be utilized in a specific manner because there are certain things which may not work very well with B2B businesses. So you have to strategize actually that how to leverage on Facebook when it comes to your B2B business.
So I have heard a lot about marketing and advertising on these two platforms in terms of organic marketing and paid marketing and whatnot. So I just want to understand everything in detail. I understand how to get started with leveraging these two platforms when it comes to ads in these two criterias.
Yeah, so you spoke about organic marketing on Facebook. So what happens that Facebook has Facebook pages, which is about your business pages, and then they have groups. So largely you have Facebook profile, which is of course your individual profile as a person. Then you have Facebook pages, which is business page for your company. And then you have groups. So you have these some avenues which you can use for Facebook marketing organically. Now what happens that Facebook pages have very limited reach these days, and somehow I feel that Facebook is little slow in terms of providing visibility to business brands in terms of if you're putting content on Facebook pages. Facebook groups are still good, but for B2B content, sometimes it doesn't work. Facebook is largely for B2C content, and if you have groups on B2C kind of content, then you can still create engagement. But for B2B, I feel that there is still opportunity for advertising. You can generate a lot of leads from Facebook for your businesses, but organically it's pretty challenging for creating visibility and getting traction vis-a-vis the return on investment in terms of how much time you invest on these platforms and what kind of returns you are getting organically. So you have to be little careful and strategic when it comes to organic marketing on Facebook.
But what I understood till this point is that business pages, Facebook pages are very much useful when it comes to advertising. Then how do I start creating advertisements? How do I get started with advertisement if Facebook pages are not that much helping us to reach?
Yeah, organically Facebook pages have very limited reach, but when it comes to advertising, of course you have to put the ad on Facebook page. So your advertising account, your ad account or your account center on Meta is actually going to be linked to your Facebook business page. So you have to run your ads through Facebook business page only. So that way Facebook page, there is no option, you have to use that, and you can create ads, put in your ads over there, and then you can create ads from there.
So these ads are going to be visible on Instagram as well, or it is just only for Facebook?
Yeah, so Facebook and Instagram is one company, just like YouTube and Google is another. So whatever you create for Facebook can also be posted on Instagram when you interlink these accounts through Account Center. And same way, if you are creating ads for Facebook, the same ads, it gives you option whether you want to show on Instagram or not.
Okay.
So when you are creating the ads through Account Center, it gives you options that whether you want to show it on Instagram feed, Instagram Reels, Instagram Stories or not. So if you don't deselect these options, then by default your ad on Facebook is going to be also shown on Instagram. But if you just go for manual selection, then you can select that sometimes your content is not meant for Facebook stories, for example. So you can just opt out of that option. Sometimes you feel that you just want to go with feed, or you don't want to show your content in stories, Instagram stories. So you can likewise just deselect these options so that you can just optimize on your cost also, because some content is not meant for stories and reels, for example, or the other avenues. So you can just select these options, and it's a very detailed platform, Account Center, So you have a lot of choices to opt for.
Till this point, I have understood that Instagram and Facebook are, of course, they have become one company. But when it comes to used by gender based, I mean, when people are using it, so for example, if men are using it, they are mostly using Facebook as compared to Instagram, and Instagram is mostly used by female business owners. So if I want to create some kind of advertisement, what is the difference between both of these platforms? Are these, is there any kind of difference, or it's just that they same, it's just we use them based on our genders?
Not really. You're right to some extent. For example, if your product is cosmetics, then of course you are going to, your audience is of course females largely, unless it's a men's grooming thing or something like that. So Instagram is a better platform because Instagram is all about lifestyle content. Insta means instant, whatever is instant. So that's why you feel that you find that a lot of content which is like up and running, like what you are doing right now instantly, that can be posted on Instagram. That was the idea when they initiated. Right now it's not exactly the same. You can post in content like 3 months ago. What happened? So even that can be done, but largely you have to think that Instagram is a lifestyle kind of content app. So if you are just thinking that way, when it comes to genders, you're right to some extent. Let's say B2B content, if you are a consulting company, then I would suggest that don't rely much on Instagram. Facebook is still okay to some extent, but then focus on LinkedIn, because for B2B consulting, real estate, like commercial real estate investing, LinkedIn is also better platform. However, the advertising cost on LinkedIn is pretty high because they provide a lot of options, like targeting and all is really deep and high quality, and there your audience is also very focused on LinkedIn. So Facebook advertising cost is very less, so you get a lot of impressions. Like you can get hundreds of thousands of impressions in Facebook, but at the same cost you will get maybe 50% less impressions on LinkedIn, because on Facebook you have like better catchment, but at the same time it's about quality reach also. So I would suggest that if you are creating an advertising strategy, go for both. That means Facebook advertising and to some extent LinkedIn also, and then you can opt for Google ads also in that case.
So is there any strategic difference between when we are creating ads for Facebook and then for Instagram, and now we are also adding LinkedIn here? So do we have any kind of basic difference here, or I can run the same ad on this all three platforms?
Yeah, it depends. Like if you have, let's say you're a procurement consulting firm, and you want to promote your certain service line. So in that case, I would suggest that create a video which can also be used in Facebook. And I would say that don't go with Instagram for this kind of consulting brands, for example, or investing especially. So go with just Facebook and LinkedIn. And LinkedIn only if you are targeting CXO level people, because the budget is going to be pretty high. You have to allocate very high budget on LinkedIn vis-a-vis Facebook. Facebook you can start with few dollars, but LinkedIn will require a lot of budget.
So let's come to the real estate business. How do real estate pros, how can they utilize these two platforms together to leverage and for lead generation, get more visibility and credibility on these two platforms?
Yes, so as I said that Facebook can provide you a wide visibility. So if you are also thinking from the outreach perspective, that branding perspective, then you are getting eyeballs from like millions of people. You can expect that. So that way you are like blowing your visibility in the market. And of course you can expect some results if your content is good, like what you're putting in the ad, as well as your product, like what is your product. So depending on that, you can expect good results from Facebook also. But yes, the combination is always better. So let's say if you go for 75:25, like 75 you can put in Facebook,
yeah,
and 25% you can
on
put in LinkedIn, or little bit on Instagram, depending what I said, like what kind of content, whether it is relevant for Instagram audience or not, then you can just allocate your marketing budget to these platforms.
For instance, if I am talking about some soft subjects, I can target my ads on Instagram. And if the related content is some hard topics, for example, if it is related with rent and places to live, for example, it is for syndicators since they are using their property to advertise. So I can use mostly Facebook, or I can use a 75:25 ratio for both of these platforms.
Yeah, so you spoke about multifamily syndicators. So there are certain kind of properties which cannot be advertised. But yes, if the regulator is allowing advertising for, there are 506B and 506C kind of properties. So if you feel that yes, this property can be advertised and you are meeting the requirements, then of course you can go with Facebook. and you can advertise that. You can get very wide visibility. And on LinkedIn also you can advertise the same. And for example, if it is for accredited investors, so you can just put in that comment, and you will find more accredited investors on LinkedIn, rather than, because Facebook is very wide, sometimes overcrowded platform. So I would say that a good balance of both platforms will be good for you.
Coming on to our organic and paid advertisements, what kind of ratio do you prefer? Because it is not always the paid marketing that everybody is going for. We also need to go through organic. So, what are the challenges there, and how much ratio should I put here? Like, how much should I put the paid content there, and how much should be my organic one?
Yes, so organic is little slow, it takes time, but what you can expect that if you are doing it consistently, so over a period of time, your organic reach can also keep pace with paid, and then your overall cost will come down. Your advertising cost, your promotion cost, because organic is of course free and you are doing paid. So after a few years, you have seen that many brands have actually, there are a lot of case studies like that content which is organic, it took a lot of time initially, but after some time it just provides you better returns. These are two wheels of the same vehicle. So when they both start moving at the same speed, then you have better results and your costs are optimized. So I'm not saying that just focus on paid or just focus on organic. Just allocate some budget to paid also, and keep on working on your organic also, because this might be taking some time, but after a few years and some time you start getting results. So you have to be a little patient when it comes to organic.
Yeah, for organic, I also have this one thing in mind, that does network or our connections matter here when we are creating organic content, or it is just on LinkedIn only? Or how does connections and networking affect our branding here on Instagram and Facebook?
There are a lot of things involved when it comes to organic marketing on Facebook. So let's say you start utilizing Facebook's features like Facebook Live and be regular. So let's say you decide that you will go live every month on Facebook or every week on Facebook, depending on your availability and choices. Do it regularly. Start engaging in groups also, and create your own group. So when you are on Facebook, create your own group also, and join others also. But sometimes when you are joining others group, you cannot post content, because sometimes it depends on them, like if they are allowing,
They have
you are
different
not.
policies, yeah.
Yeah, so you basically rely on them. So create your own group, try to get audiences into that group, keep promoting that group, because that will give you members, and then you can use this group in many ways. You can create content for these group members, you can engage with them, you can provide a lot of content, you can create your webinars also, you can create your live sessions within those groups, and then promote your brand that way.
Let's talk about Facebook groups. When you said that we can use Facebook groups as well as our pages, and then we can also have different kind of ways how we can bring in a lot of people into our community, how we can leverage the use of Facebook group here. How do I strategize that? In what kind of group do I need to come? How do I utilize there? What kind of, can I actually put out my content there? Will people read there? Can you just elaborate on this kind of strategy if I'm going through organic? And is this option available in paid marketing as well?
Yes, when it comes to Facebook groups, you have to actually provide some value. So it's about creating value for audiences. And let's say if you are giving out some checklist, some kind of resource which is extremely useful for your audience, which is not just AI generated content, and something which is really, really useful, which you have created, and you feel that it's going to be very valuable for your audience, then you can create some lead gen campaigns within these groups also. So you can direct people to a landing page where they can download your ebook or checklist or any template, and that way you can generate the lead, which you can just market later and remarket later on. So you have to think a little, you have to take a deeper dive and think that how you can create values on these organic platforms. It will be slow, but definitely after a point in time, if you keep on providing value to your audience, people do notice. And it depends on your product also, how useful it is, how you have positioned yourself, and how people are, then there is a learning curve also. But definitely it pays results over a period of time.
I've also heard about sub profiles. Recently, people have started sub profiles. So, people have their personal profiles as well as sub profiles. But sometimes creating another profile and then building connections there and credibility there is a bit a challenge. What do you prefer? Is this only through our personal profile that we should be creating connections and then building our credibility in groups, or we should start from sub profile?
Yeah, so Facebook actually is a personal networking platform. They started like that, and it's a social media like B2B element was not there. I think initially it wasn't, but gradually people started using B2B and Facebook for business. And it's a gray area. Like you won't like to use your Facebook profile for business things because your friends and family is there. And then you are also inviting like potential business contacts also. So that way now Facebook is giving you option to create sub profiles. So you can create your sub profile and then you can connect with your business contacts only, and so that your content is not mixed. Sometimes it becomes like you cannot really focus on your clients and your business network, your personal, so everything is like mixed up. So that way creating sub profiles is very useful. And now you can utilize this feature, and I think Facebook also has introduced this feature because of the same reason.
So, can I connect my Facebook page with my sub profile, and then I can leverage that to get into the groups and build more credibility? And as you said, that we need to create the campaigns for groups as well. How do I create campaigns for groups, and how do I, use my sub profile to do my brand marketing and everything on
Yes,
Facebook?
yes. So you can use sub profile just like your profile. We know that it's a sub profile. To audience, it's a profile. So
Okay,
it's not
it's
sub
not
profile.
visible that it's a secondary profile.
Not at all. So it just acts like your profile only. Right? So you can utilize it the same way you are using your actual personal profile. Now, when it comes to marketing in groups, you said, so basically creating, there is no way to create campaigns for Facebook groups actually in terms of advertising. So advertising, when you are going for advertising, there is no option to get into the groups. So group is all about organic
Organic, yeah.
campaigns. And you have to be a little patient when it comes to groups, because you have to devise your campaign in such a way that others are allowing. But if you're having your own group which is big enough and you want to have engagement over there, so I would say that don't think about your conversion per se in terms of sales or so. Start just keep
Networking
on
and
providing
connecting.
value, because sometimes it doesn't work that you expect results the other day from Facebook groups and so on and so forth. So you have to think that way, that you are just providing education. For example, if you're a coach, so just keep on providing your coaching sessions, do live sessions every week or every second week, stuff like. So be regular so that people know. Create a cadence like Facebook live session every fortnight. So people know that every fortnight you are going to be live and they can ask questions. So initially, I think initially for the first few months, you won't get many attendees, but after a point in time, you start getting some traction if you are doing your job
Consistently and with
consistently and
value,
you are
yeah.
providing value and you are doing like, don't expect returns, just be honest to yourself and keep on providing educational content if you're a coach. And likewise, if you're a consultant, keep on educating your market. And actually you will feel good about that also, because sometimes when you are sharing, you are also trying to, you also grow when you share. So why not to do that? It's a good way to, and Facebook is giving a free platform, so you can use it that way.
Great. And if I connect AI with Instagram and Facebook, what is your preference on using AI? Because I have noticed that when you put on content on Instagram, they ask you to flag it. They ask you to tell that is it AI content or is it written by you. So if I put it like this is made from AI, how is it going to impact my brand, and not just brand in front of other people, but also in terms of how does the Facebook and Instagram look at my brand, and will they promote it? Will they show my profile to people if I use AI or not?
There is a tussle going on right now that AI content, whether these platforms are going to promote it or not organically. So you have to be cautious. You have to be very strategic. I would suggest that try to leverage on AI. AI is just a tool for you. So if you are using it strategically for more research, for providing deeper insights into a subject, like sometimes you can use AI for deep research. So you can go take a very deep dive into that same subject and pick the subject, pick the facts and interesting things about that same subject, which AI can provide you in a very fast manner. So you can just use AI for these purposes. And that way you have, if you're creating video content and you are putting stats which you have taken out from AI, then of course you're making it unique in your way. So that way you can leverage on AI, and why not Instagram and Facebook will promote that.
Great, great strategy. If I also want to add, how can I measure my growth? Before we end this, I want to understand how can I measure whether my content is doing good or whether my videos or I'm getting traction through my community. How can I measure my growth on Facebook and Instagram?
Yeah, so there are analytics. So you go back to your dashboard and it provides you pretty much all the key metrics. So from there, you can just find out that which posts are working, what is the kind of engagement, the impressions. So impression is one thing, then your click rate, then your comments and likes and so on and so forth. So these metrics are always there for you. They also show you that what is the age group of your audience is, what is the gender, what is the location. So all these metrics are there. Based on that, you can create content which is working for you, and you can maybe improve or maybe try to mold the content which is not working. So that way you can always go back to analytics and check out that what kind of content to create and what kind of content is not working.
And since these are two platforms, it sometimes gets daunting to put content on both of these platforms. So what simple strategy can you give to our listeners so that they do not get lost into the content creation process and leverage both platforms at the same point of time?
Yeah, so now Facebook is actually trying to, there is some kind of, they're trying to create that balance so that you don't have to create separate content for both these platforms, and they are basically interlinked through Account Center. And that way, if you are just creating a square post, for example, the same ratio is there on Facebook. The same kind of thing is you can post on Instagram, and you will be happy to know that in fact YouTube is also allowing posting content, the images also, there is a
Yeah, I
option
just
like that.
noticed puzzles there.
Yeah. And LinkedIn is also allowing the square post. So basically everyone wants that, all these platforms also want that if creator is developing some content, they don't have to just keep on reinventing the
Yeah.
wheel. So the
It
same
becomes a
kind of,
juggle.
yeah, if you just create a square content, the square ratio, that works on pretty much all the platforms. So that way your images, infographics can work that way. Even the vertical reels, the 9:16 ratio works on LinkedIn, Instagram. Like Instagram is the pioneer for these vertical reels, but now even LinkedIn is allowing the same, and shorts format is same. So Instagram, of course, is allowing reels. So all of these four major platforms are allowing the same kind of formats.
So juggling is basically simplified for us, but we do have to struggle and we do have to juggle in some aspects. Yeah. So these were the great insights, and thank you for simplifying the process for our listeners who understand, who think that it is very daunting task to be present on social media all the time. But you have made it really simple for us. Thank you for your insights, Vikram. It was great. Yes, this was all about Facebook and Instagram today, but there are a lot more topics that we can discuss on Facebook and on about Facebook and Instagram and how you can build your brand on these two platforms. So yes, we will keep the conversation rolling, and yes, let's continue. And if you like this video, do like and subscribe to our channel for more marketing tips and more hacks on marketing. Thank you. Stay tuned for the next video.